Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War raid stream, week 35, day 3. So today is still the last week of raids. We didn't end up getting to do any raids yesterday, but of course it is still our last full week of raids that we will ever have. Because starting next patch, when campaigns start, we'll be only having raids on the weekends. It'll never be a Monday event anymore. The only Monday events we'll ever be getting are World Lore events, Guild War events, and the occasional Tower of Doom, like every 11 weeks. Though Tower of Doom might also be on weekend events to kind of make sure we still get about the same amount of Doom scrolls. So, you know, it'd still be about the same interval. Just one of them will be on weekend event and one of them would be during the week. But, yeah, as far as, like, the starting things, because they're all being replaced with pretty much World Lore events for the most part, as we end up getting that as, like, the main replacement category for weekly events going into next patch. Or, I should say, into next patch, or we're already in. It doesn't feel like next patch yet, though, of course, we are in version 5.0, as you can see by this campaign thingy. But, yeah, we won't really feel it till Monday, because the true effect of this patch doesn't really take effect till Monday. Like, almost everything in this patch almost does nothing until Monday comes around. But then once Monday hits, it'll look very, very different once we get that campaign pass in and all that ends up bringing in. And, of course, we'll be going over that in depth as it gets here. But not too much to really go over now with it until that actually happens. But then once it does, there'll be a lot of things to end up mentioning. But anyways, let's go get over to raids and start making some progress on that and finishing that out. I'm not sure if we'll actually finish all the way today, but we'll definitely get pretty close. One nice thing about raids getting moved to a weekend event is it pretty much already is a 3-day event to begin with. So having it as a 3-day event will actually kind of make a lot of sense, since it's pretty doable to get it done in about 3-4 days, sometimes 5 days. Depends how active your guild is, how many packs they buy, all that. But even with mostly bare minimum, I think my guild normally does it around the 3-day mark. We still have zeros. Oh, never mind. We don't have zeros. Oh, they're basically zeros, 170s. That's basically the equivalent of zero. Actually, isn't that like doing the bare minimum just to not get, or just to get all rewards? Because you have to complete up to there, and then boom, you get all rewards. I think that's like 1 or 2 battles after that. But anyways, I almost spawned another pack. We're still using this team. Capricious, or Copernicus, I mean, Earth's Fury, Trickster, not Trickster Shot, Trickster, the troop, there is a difference, and the Wild Queen. And Trickster works pretty well. You can do Mang Trickster, ends up devastating insanely well. However, we're going down the Earth's Fury route with this because we can. However, you can do the Mang route, which is pretty much the exact same thing, except Mang in first. Ends up working out much better, and if you don't have Wild Queen, you can end up replacing to a cheaper mana generator. Ends up working out well. One interesting thing you will notice at this final battle here, though, is boss troops are now marked with red. So if we ever get any new boss troops going into the future, they will all also be marked in red. It's basically the new rarity, essentially. It denotes all the boss troops. Doom weapons have this too. However, if you're actually using a Doom weapon, it doesn't actually show up as a red border there. It'll still show up as whatever border your hero thing is, since the weapon rarity doesn't actually determine the color of the border. It's your level that does. So hero will still have that coloration. But yeah, every single boss now in the game will now have the reddish border. Good sign that we might be getting more into the future. None have yet to be confirmed, but would be very cool to start seeing them roll around as time goes on. It's not enough to kill, but I do need something to go and finish it out. Luckily, he will not be able to go all the way out, so let me go say all the hellos. I haven't even said hello to everyone yet. How could I? Let's see. Hello, Bill Warhammer. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, Lemmy. Hello, John. Hello, Queen D. Yes, fashionably late. It's normally because I take a nap almost always before streams. It's because how my day normally goes. And sometimes that nap overextends. Not to the point where I completely miss a stream, but to the point where, you know, I'm like still doing things like right before the stream up to that point. And then, yeah, it kind of gets to that point and it's like, oh, it's already like almost 8. And then it like dips over 8 and it's like, oh, it just dipped over 8. Luckily we're about to start, but It tends to fall like right around that point most days, it feels like. Which is why we're normally ever so fashionably late. It's also one of the reasons why that same thing doesn't tend to happen on necessarily like the morning streams and a couple other streams. Is because it doesn't have that same factor. Since we're, you know, already up normally. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Get our thing going. Grab a... Actually, we don't even need an Earth Fury. Oh, so I didn't even say the rest of hellos. Hello, Big Dog. Hello, Zex. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, Cookie. Hello, John. Hope it's not lost for our bots and other tools. As someone who has worked along. Yes, I really, really hope Terran's World stays up. And that someone will be maintaining it, if not multiple people. But the original person will not be as of the 26th. But yeah, I still need to go download all the stuff from there. Definitely need to make sure to do so within the next few days just so I don't forget. I downloaded some things, but definitely not a full download of everything. Do you honestly like this patch? I never said I did. It's probably one of the weirdest patches they've ever done. And yeah, overall, I don't really care for it too much. Definitely went in a really, really weird angle. I like that they're doing something to add more content, but they're doing it in a way that's locking a lot of people out of that content and putting a paywall on top of that content to go get it. Of course, the game is still playable free to play, but they're putting a lot of content behind not free to play now, which goes against kind of the theme that the game normally had. I think the first thing that kind of broke through it was when we first got sigils. Like, it didn't really matter with things like Delves or not Arena, but Delves, Guild Wars, stuff like that, that technically had a sigil system in a way. However, it had it in a way where, you know, it didn't really feel like it was. And then they end up having something like raids and evasions and stuff like that. And then it was like, oh, so they actually finally added this, which is something that they said they pretty much never would. And then we end up getting now the Battle Pass, which is quite unfortunate. I generally don't care for Battle Pass systems in most games. They are very rarely done well. And Gems of War is definitely an example of it not being done well. So we'll see how it pans out. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt, at least at first. But overall, it's on face value not looking too good. But of course, they might make adjustments. Let them know what you think of it on the forum as it starts rolling around. They're bound to make some amount of adjustments to it over time. Because I highly doubt they will keep it exactly as is forever at the current state that it is. And with feedback from the community and not just the beta, they will probably make other changes. So it's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. I'm surprised you made it on time trying to do all this 5.0 content. That's a funny joke. That is a pretty funny joke. Yeah, that's one of the other things I've been hating with a lot of like the bigger patches lately, or even just patches in general. There's been a lot less to do immediately. Whenever we finally get an arena or treasure hunt rework, hopefully later this year, that'll be a slight difference because that you actually will be able to do immediately. However, the last patch that we had where we were able to do anything substantial immediately that was technically new content was back in October. And it was annoying because I was away at the time too. So it made it even worse. But it was back in October. So we've gone almost an entire year without getting new content that can be done specifically when a new patch occurs. Because a lot of patches that have happened since then. Also, we're right back at the exact same sigils we just had when we started. That's kind of funny. But a lot of patches since then didn't really have anything really substantial to immediately do. The last one was when tokens came out. And the whole new explore system and everything. Because that gave you a lot to do pretty much immediately. Like an absurdly high amount of stuff to do immediately. Which was really cool. As I just realized, he's already in first slot. That is a very quick first slot on him. Of course, we can go down the skull route, but there's no skull, so let's do that. Actually, there's plenty of skulls, they're just not where they need to be. I'll throw that down. Now they are, kind of. I'll take that as well. See if we can get the cascade there. That'll be a free turn, and he's dead. That's not enough damage. That is, though. And a star turn. Also, hello, Marcelo. Hello, Spins. Hello, Lestat. Hello, I will eventually get through the hellos. Hello, Spins. Let's see. Hello, Analyst. Bosses in Raid and Dungeons are red, but now you wonder it's ones in Explorer count. There are no bosses in Explorer? There are none. Also, there's like pseudo bosses in World Lore events, but I don't think those are going to count unless they're specifically made into a boss. But no, the ones in Explorer aren't bosses, they're just mythics. They're kind of set up like a boss in a way, but they're just simply mythics. But yeah, it applies to dungeons because those have always been boss troops, and now they're just a little bit easier to identify in that way. And obviously Zugaf has always been a boss. Hello, Captain. Hello, Defiance. Hello, Sippleman. Hello, J-Dog. Have free to play. That's what they all say. And then the greed comes in, pretty much. Let's see. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Brump. Let's see. Imperial Deed. Is it worth it for 500 gems? It's pretty pricey. But given the current economy of the game, honestly, yes. I don't think I ever got an Imperial Deed, but if I ever did, I think I would actually get it. It's pretty pricey. But if you have like over 10, 20,000 gems, I think it is worth it. Since a lot of Kingdom Progress currently, as far as, you know, getting level 15s, is dependent entirely on your Imperial count these days. And the only way to consistently get your Imperials up, actually there is no way. Even that 500 thing isn't consistent because you have no control when it happens. But whenever you do see it, it's a way to basically get a little bit of notch up on getting them upgraded. So I would say yes. I'm not sure if I ever won for one yet because I'm not sure if we've even gotten one. I know it exists though. But yeah, I would say overall it is worth it. So if you end up seeing it, it's worth considering, if and only if you already have a surplus of gems. If you don't have a surplus of gems, it's probably worth avoiding. You'll get more over time just from Adventure Board. But if you have a lot of gems, it's something that's definitely worth investing a little bit into, because as far as end game completionist stuff is concerned, getting all your kingdoms upgraded takes forever. And pretty much everyone's at the same state as far as that is concerned. And being able to get a little bit ahead on that is a little bit helpful. Doesn't make too big a difference, but every little bit helps. But yeah, I would say yes. As long as you have like 10,000 minimum gems, if not more. Let's see. Get that on Zugaf. Also, if you're wondering why we're using this in first rather than like hero or something, it's mostly so we can give him his boost ratio thing, so that we can then synergize it into hitting out the Zugaf for higher damage by switching it, and then instantly getting our one-shot very easily. Like, that will never not one-shot Earth's Fury into that. That is by far enough damage. Even Mang into it might even be enough to always one-shot. I didn't check to see its overall durability, but it might not fall off, or at least not fall off for the free battles. So going to Mang method could kind of work out pretty well too. Well, we're sticking with this for now. I had 23k gems, yeah, nice. A lot of people do have like that around like the 10,000, 50,000 gem mark, I would say. Most late game people, that is, anyways. Obviously, newer players and stuff like that. But anyone who's been playing the game for probably like 3+ years is at the point where I would say they probably at 10,000 plus gems for the most part. There might be some people that still aren't, especially if you're still trying to get troop completion, because troop completion can technically sink infinite gems at any moment in time. So that tends to go pretty quick. Also, I should have just taken Skull there. I think that was enough to kill, even without the boost ratio there. So we could have went for it. But as we get deeper, I almost do kind of want to use Mang. Because the only problem with using this thing in first slot with Earth's Fury is we overall have less damage output. Because a lot of these other ones don't die in one shot, which slows down the battle a little bit. With Wild Queen and everything else, that kind of makes up for it, but still it's slightly slower that way. Especially if he gets that summon there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why did I tier that one instead of that one? I was like looking at its attack value rather than armor. We'll just go for that for now. I was gonna say, I almost feel like targeting that Val Raven. Now we cannot. Gotta be careful with my move too. I don't want to give him yellow. I want to be really cautious on that as I give him yellow. Though those from Cascade, that was beyond our control. Can you stop getting skulls? That'd be great. Let's take that for now. I'm gonna have to give him yellow. Luckily, he doesn't actually commit to it. Let's see. Where's all of our skulls at? There it is. We'll get that. We'll get that. There you go. There's our win, probably. We'll get that. And dead. There we go. Why we have a weekly invasion event next week? You look at the event tabs. That shouldn't be the case. And I'm not sure why that is. No, we don't have an invasions. That's a, that's not invasions. That is what is that? It's something invasion. It's not an actual invasion. It's the name of the World Lore event is called something invasion. I can't quite tell because of what the letters are combined with it being blocked. What is it? An imminent or EMAP evasion? I have no clue what that word's supposed to be. But it's just the name of the World Lore event. It's not actually evasions. That shouldn't actually be in evasions. It's just a World Lore event that has the word invasion in it. Infernal invasions? That word is infernal? There's no way that word is infernal. Though that would make sense. Let me see. Am I just reading it that wrong? Is that word infernal? Where was it? Oh yeah, that could be an F. Yeah, you're right. Infernal invasions. That would make sense. Yeah, it's infernal. Gosh, it's really hard to tell. That definitely looks like an M. But yeah, if that's an N and that's an F, yeah, that would make sense, but it's blocked off. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense then. Why is the L like that then? Oh well, let's just say it's Infernal Invasions. That makes sense. But it's just the name of the World Lore event. It just happens to have the word invasion in it. It is not actually an invasions event. It is a World Lore event that has the word invasion in it, which obviously is very confusing. But it's not a World Lore. I mean, it's not a invasion. It's a World Lore. You know what? I think we actually are going to go test the Mang team. We were using it a little bit earlier. But here's the free team. Or not the free, but the cheap one. We're actually going to mess with it. See what happens. Let's see. It still has everything you need to win. Still has everything. Let's go paste this in. Feels weird doing it this way. Oh, though it will replace out Siren with Wild Queen. Siren was put there to make it cheaper. However, Wild Queen is better. Where's Wild Queen? I know you're in here. Where are you? Oh, there she is. All the way at the end. I keep forgetting she counts as a T and not a W, though. Which always throws me off. It usually goes by their first letter. Not by the letter that's most relevant, which is her W. Oh, why did I do that before Mang? I already failed. You're supposed to cast Mang first. That kind of helps. Well, now we're going to have a lower attack. That defeated the whole purpose of switching up the team. We'll do it right next battle, though. If there's a next battle. No, again, there'll definitely be plenty of next battles. We'll throw that down. Get our other poke. There's our one-shots. Get a Wild Queen and extra wipe. Not quite. Let's Mang him, I guess. I should just went for mana generation. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually block her. Yes, it does. It blocks her on brown. And that's dead. Yeah, there we go. You currently have exactly 5,000 gems. You didn't use any on Bounty or Delve event, but wasted 1,350 trying to get the Mythic before I changed to spending 100k glory instead. Yeah, you could burn through a lot of it trying to get troops, that's for sure. Like, you can burn through an entire gem stack trying to get various troops. Like, super unluckiness on a single Mythic can cost you upwards of 10,000 gems. So if you didn't have, like, key options already waiting to go at it, you can burn through a lot of gems. So you gotta be careful with it. I think the most gems I ever spent on a Mythic was close to 13,000. That was back in economy of the game where we were getting like almost like 10,000 plus gems a week. So it wasn't as bad burning through that many. Because a lot less keys were given, but a lot more physical gems were given. At the time. Until they changed it all. I'm gonna risk it with this. There's a chance Valraven could have escaped, but it was very, very unlikely. And obviously it didn't. No, this weekend wasn't supposed to be... Actually, wait, was this weekend supposed to be faction? Actually, it might have been. You're right. Because there was something on the 17th that was something else. Yeah, maybe it was a faction at some point. But, yeah, it's going to be Vault event. This weekend's Vault event. And it should be the only thing that's happening, if I'm not mistaken, is Vault event. And nothing else. But they might have tweaked it. Just because of how close it is to the patch. Or, you know, the turnover of the first campaign. I keep saying that as if the patch hasn't happened yet. It has. It just doesn't feel like it at all. Because there's so lack of immediate things you can do with it. Actually, out of every 0.0 patch, I'm pretty sure this had the least amount of immediate things you could do. Though once the campaign actually gets here, then it'll be very noticeable. But 2.0 had traits. So you had the entirety of farming trait stones and trading troops, which gave you a billion things to do because traits didn't exist prior. 3.0 had Guild Wars, which I guess technically the Guild War patch was the other patch that didn't have as much immediately. Because the first week that 3.0 came out, aside from the rebalance and stuff, there wasn't actually anything to do immediately. So I guess Guild Wars was the other one. However, a lot of people kind of prepped with their teams and everything like that. Because it was shown in game that you need to like make color teams. So you still had something you could kind of do. Because you never really needed pure color teams prior to that. Because there was no pure color restricted game modes prior to that. So it was the first time you had to do color restrictions. So that kind of indirectly gave you something to do. In the sense that you had to create a bunch of pure color teams. And get them ready for Guild Wars for the first time. So even though it technically didn't do anything initially. Until the following week. Kind of like how this game mode did. It kind of geared you to doing something. Since it introduced a interaction that you never had to deal with before. Prior. Oh, why did I do that? I just moved the Zugoff out of position. You should only ever cast that once. So we just got it back to full mana. So I guess we'll cast it a third time at this point. Move him back. And of course 4.0 had delves. And while you could only do 3 delves a day, that still gave you something to do, nonetheless. And then when the Tuesday rolled around, you had even more to do. There's only 2 delves when it first came out, but it still gave you stuff to do, nonetheless. Might have seemed weird only having 2, but it was still something. Let's go for that. And then that's match. Should be the mana, and then we Wild Queen at him. And hopefully it doesn't miss. There we go. Even if it did, it has 0 attack, it probably wouldn't have killed. It would need a lot of extra turn skulls and a lot of doom skull things. Salty never replied back on the free pass thingy. And at this point, we're most likely just going to have to buy it. Which is perfectly fine. It's not like ultra expensive. Let's see, we'll throw that down. I probably wouldn't buy it if it wasn't for this channel, though. Just because we have enough resources that we could easily just get it after the time. And the only place where it would really matter to have some of these benefits early, like some of these troops, would be Guild Wars. And my guild is not at a high enough bracket for it to really be consequential having those options or not. Like, it'd be nice having them for Guild Wars a little bit earlier. But it's not really going to be that mandatory. Because things like saving 4,000 diamonds every 10 weeks means almost nothing to me. It would to the normal person. But we have this many gems. We have 71,000 gems. and all those that can be converted into gems as well. So we are in no position to ever run out of gems. Yeah, we're still going to be doing the pass, which will save us gems, which instead we could just get them in Soulforge, which is what I would ideally do otherwise. But no, we'll be doing the pass so we can go to show the content immediately. We won't be doing the early pass, which costs even more money, which would allow us to do some things a week earlier. But we will be buying the normal pass, which is where most people would get it. I highly doubt too many people will go for the elite pass, but who knows, maybe they will. But I don't foresee that really being a thing. A lot of people going for it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are boycotting it initially anyways, because you have 10 weeks to be able to claim the loot. So you could still boycott it initially for the first like 3, 4, 5, however many weeks, and then buy it at the end, and you still end up getting all of it. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people on the forum doing that, so that they hopefully change up the format to not be as paywalled. What we're doing? I'm gonna go finish out raids. Last few battles, and by few, should be 4. Yeah, Elite Pass is particularly good if you're going for a higher guild. Like, if you're in high bracket guild for Guild Wars, it could be considered worth it. Also, if you're already someone who spends money on the game, it's probably also worth it. Just because its overall value compared to other money purchases is actually pretty good, assuming you're already planning on doing the entirety of the pass. Which most active players probably are. Like, even if you have the free pass, most people are probably still going to consider doing all of it. Just because you get a lot of extra stats from it. Even at just the free one. Oh, I'll throw that down. We're not going to have enough damage here. All we need is one more big poke. We're not even a big poke, any poke. Even a Mang will kill it. Hello, Jason. Welcome. You'll buy the Elite Pass and then complain a lot. That's a good combination. Yeah, I'll still be buying the normal pass and complaining a lot about it. Let's see. I'll throw that down. We'll grab, explosion. Oh, wait, we're webbed. No! Well, at least that one explosion, for what it was, actually wasn't that bad. But web did just devalue us there. Gosh, I just die so quickly now. I actually prefer the Mang method, actually. Other team's still good, but it starts falling off the deeper you go. This, I don't think ever really falls off. I didn't make one upgrade to it compared to the super cheap team, though. We added Wild Queen. But you just replace Wild Queen with Siren or Second Trickster. It works out pretty well. Because that's what I tested with for the weaker team. And it worked out decently. But of course we're doing Wild Queen because we can. Since if you do have it, it's better to run it. Compared to not running it. Can we please get Wild Queen mana? That's not what I meant to do. Well, that's a massive fail. Luckily he didn't have a mana option. There we go. Okay, that should be match. Ooh, it better be. That misses. There we go. I said 71k gems. In regard to what? The reason why there might not be a Mythic on Terran's World is the website's current person who's doing it is stopping. Oh yeah, I meant 71,000 diamonds, not gems. There's a difference. But yeah, I meant diamonds, the crafting material. But yeah, the person who's runs Terran's World is not going to be running anymore starting at 26. So the state of that website is still up in the air. I don't think we got any official news as far as what's happening with that, further than that. But as it stands, it might be completely shutting down. I'll have to wait and see. I sure hope not. It's probably one of the most useful resources we've ever had for Gems of War. Though if it ever does go down, Gems of War database gonna be the official website now, basically, for all that info. The official, unofficial. It's still another third-party source. It's probably one of the longest third-party sources ever running for the game, actually. I don't think any resource for Gems of War has ran longer than Gems of War database. Not even the Gems of War's website's own version of it has lasted that long. Let's see. Also, one of the reasons there might not be a Mythic there for August is they said 3 weeks after the Mythic comes out, they would have the Mythic available. So that would technically fall in August, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't. Never mind. That would fall in September. Because 3 weeks after this event would be... Actually, never mind. It'd fall in October then. So never mind. That might not be the case. I'm not sure. No, we don't get the campaign Mythic in August. We get the campaign Mythic in September. And then 3 weeks after that would be October. Which, based on something that was said earlier, the Mythic would be in the Soul Forge 3 weeks after it was available in the pass. However, I'm not sure if 3 weeks means 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Because if it means 3 weeks from the first point in which it is available in the pass, then that means 2 weeks. But if it means 3 weeks after, you know, the final week, you know, after it's done, then that could mean 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm not sure exactly what they mean by 3 weeks, because 3 weeks can mean 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, depending on where that 3 weeks starts. Because it could either start when the Mythic is first available from Elite Pass Plus. It could be available from the point where it's normally available, where normal pass gets it. Or it could be from when the campaign ends. It could be at any of those 3 starting locations. So I'm not sure exactly which one they mean by 3 weeks. Because there's literally 3 different variants that it could be, which are all a week apart from each other. Hopefully we'll get clarification going forward. And once we do, I will be mentioning them. But a lot of stuff is still kind of up in the air with it. Not a lot of definitive info. Which you'd kind of think they would have planned out already for a big 5.0 patch, but no, they do not. Let's see. Anyways, where was the thingy thing I was looking for? I am looking for Phoenicia. So we can go destroy through everything. That also means I need to go switch to magic. Where's my Phoenicia build? I know you're in here. Also, once we finish out these dailies, we'll go hand out our code for today. We did get more codes from Salty the other day, so we do have codes to hand out. Oh, why am I doing pet? Well, I guess pet works. I already have this pet back, so I don't know. I'm going to just skip it. It's just such a habit to do it when I see it. But I might just skip on it. I'm pretty sure I have Pansvale pet maxed. Let me double check. Yeah, we got it maxed already. You know what? We're already here. Let's just do it. No, we're still going to be getting monthly mythics. They made mention that we're still going to be getting monthly mythics. Yeah, you get pet food from it, but we have a current surplus of pet food. To a degree where we currently do not need pet food. Which reminds me, that was something they didn't add in this patch. How haven't they added it yet? They didn't add the way to mass disenchant pets. And what I mean by that is get all your pets converted to pet food. Kind of like how you could do the same for souls for your troops. You can't do that for pet food for your pets. It's not too bad to manually change them all, but you're going to waste like half an hour to an hour if you have at least one spare copy of every pet and you want to then convert it into pet food. It's something that can be done with a single button in like 10 seconds, but they haven't added that button yet. Kind of like how they have it for souls, which is quite unfortunate. I almost forgot what the animation for disenchanting even looks like, because we haven't had to do it for like 3 years. If it even has the animation anymore, I know it used to. The new Legend Gnome troop will come this weekend with a Vault event. Or is it still coming on July 20th? Neither. It's coming later than that, isn't it? Pretty sure it's coming even later. Pretty sure it's coming even later than both those two numbers. Terran's World might show it coming as 20th. But I'm pretty sure that's just it being initialized in the game. I don't believe it's actually going to be in drop table on the 20th. I've yet to see confirmation that states anywhere that it will be in the Volky drop table on the 20th. I am pretty sure that doesn't happen until after the event. Yes, I still need Mech Gnome. Also need the new Gnome that comes out. However, since we're buying the pass, we'll easily be able to get that without needing to worry about Volkying for it. Which reminds me, hopefully we get a lot of Volkies this weekend. Still need to hunt for that Mech Gnome. It's the only trooper missing. Soon we're going to be missing a lot of weapons. Actually, we're currently missing a lot of weapons. No one has full weapon completion currently in the game. Because even if you were to buy the flash offers that you get for $5 weapons of the new ones that we just got and already had all of them done prior, you wouldn't have been able to get enough flash offers yet to actually be able to complete them all. Currently, there's only 2 of the 34 weapons that are available. The one for Broken Spire, which has been available forever. Or not forever, but it's been available for like a year and a half now. They did it during one random update. They added it very randomly out of nowhere, and it seemed really out of place. But it was mostly because it was for a starter pack thing. But they now added one to like every single kingdom now. And currently only 2 of them are available. The Broken Spire one and the Pan's Veil one. Which I should probably remind everyone again. Actually, I should probably remind everyone every stream we do this week. But don't forget, there is a new weapon that actually came out in SoulForge as of the 5.0 patch. And it's worth considering to go and get it for completionist sake. Obviously, it's not a good weapon, but it's a pretty cheap completionist weapon. So if you need more weapons for kingdoms, it's worth considering getting, because you won't be able to get it for a very long duration after. But any completionists out there, there's a new weapon. It's this one. It was just added during the patch. Loot of the Vale. If you've already completed out the Kingdom of Pan's Veil, the only way you could realistically get this is basically crafting it. That or finding it eventually on a $5 flash offer thing, which obviously you're better off crafting it. So yeah, definitely make sure to go craft it before the end of the week if you're going for completionist sake. This weapon is 100% useless and you would never use it. You would never use any of these 34 weapons. They're geared towards the newer players, and even newer players might not even run them. But nonetheless, it's still a weapon that would be needed to a kingdom upgrade, since this technically just gives a whole additional weapon to every single kingdom. And this is pretty relevant, particularly to kingdoms that don't already have a lot of weapons. Pan's Veil, I'm pretty sure, is one that has a decent handful already, but as you can kind of tell, with Yasmin's Pride, Radiant Jewel, the Glaive, and all the other sleigh bells, so it already has a pretty wide range, but still, it's going to make some that have pretty low have more. But it's still worth considering. It's pretty cheap, only 75 diamonds, and the rest of the resources are pretty low as well. It's completely useless, but it's a good just upgrade weapon to kind of have laying around. And did we claim these yet? Yes, we did. Okay. Though, of course, we don't need any to loot. Let's go clear through dungeons. Then we'll go clear through dailies. And then we'll go hand out code. Then we'll go mess with some explorer grinding. Wait, is the explorer offer really $10? That is very pricey. I was expecting that to be 5. Maybe even that's kind of pushing it. I forget, how much were the ones for, how much were the ones for Clash Royale? Because they seem to have taken the Clash Royale model in that regard. I'm pretty sure many other games have done it too. But Clash Royale had a system where every single time you went to a new arena in early game, you had like these passes that would give you the legendary from the arena. So if there was like a one that you saw that you like really wanted in early game, you could get them and overpay for them because they're so easy to get in the current state of the game. But newer players wouldn't know that. I didn't bother going for any of them. But they kind of had that set up as their overpriced thing initially in earlier in the game. But the one for Gems of War doesn't even give you a legend. Not to mention the game has something higher than a legend, whereas in Clash Royale they don't. Unless they added one since then. I don't think they have. But Oh, you guys, useless weapon. It'll help you through the kingdom a little bit better if you lack like absolutely any options for it. But that doesn't really justify $10, and even at $5, I don't think it would really be that worth it. Like many things in the game, it's a bit overpriced. How many weapons do you need to raise kingdoms? I believe the most you would ever need is 7? I forget what level you need 7 at. But I believe there's one level where you need 7 max weapons. There's somewhere's in the 10s. Yeah, 8 weapons. My bad. Yeah, it was 8 weapons and you need it for 20 star. It wasn't 7. It was 8. But yeah, 20 star requires 8 weapons. Right over here. We can see it if we go to something like here. Fully upgrade 8 weapons from the kingdom. So yes, to get a 20 star kingdom, you would need 8 weapons. And in many kingdoms, one of those 8 weapons is likely going to be that new epic weapon that just came out in the patch yesterday. So do make sure to get them whenever you see them if you're towards end game, because you'll be needing them for completionist purposes, particularly for 20 star kingdoms. Obviously, a lot of kingdoms are still far away from 20 star. However, we are going to see our first 20 star kingdom probably either later this year or very early next year. So they are around the corner. We have a couple at 19. We have a couple within striking distance at 18. It's only a matter of time before we get our first 20 star kingdom. And eventually they will be raising it to 30 stars for total. That'll probably be next year. But there is a chance we see our first ever 20 star kingdom this year. That makes sense. It's 2020. You can't not make a 20 star kingdom in the year 2020. Yep. I thought we were in the loading screen already, and I was like waiting. Nope, I didn't click the button. I should say I tried clicking it and then misclicked, making me think I was already in. Do you think there will be more achievements added this year? Well, we got 5 this stream. I mean, this patch. None of them are doable right now. We went over them earlier, but there's 5 of them. They can be done on the first week of campaign, the second week of campaign, the 7th week of campaign, and the final week of campaign. And I think one of the other ones were also on the first week. I think there was 2 on first week, then 2nd, 7th, 10th is where they fell. But yeah, we got 5 new achievements. Actually, let me go look at them. They're right here. They're all in game already. They're currently undoable, so if it has any % above 0, those are all hackers, because it is quite literally impossible to have this achievement right now. But let's see. But yeah, getting your first artifact to level 1 is done on week 1. Completing your first task in campaign is week 1, literally within, seconds, just completing your first task. So yeah, this is week 1. Week 1, week 2, because it requires the second week to be able to do 25 tasks. Week 7, because, oh, sorry, actually week 6. This is week 6. No, it was week 7. Never mind, I was right the first time. Week 7, because you would need 7 weeks worth of tasks to have 100 tasks to be able to complete. And then week 10, where you'd get the artifact to level 10 for the first time, which means you've completely completed through the event. But yeah, it's 1, 1, 2, 7, 10 is where the achievements fall. On those weeks of the campaign, you'd be able to get them completed, which means all 5 of them you can get done within the first campaign. Which means even if you're just buying the free pass and you don't find it too enticing to go do the campaign, which I know some people are in that boat, I would still go for it though. But nonetheless, you should at least the first time, because there's achievements attached to it. So you kind of have to at least once, even if you don't plan on really doing it going forward, because you're just going to be doing the free one, and the free loot's pretty bad other than the artifact. But you got to at least do it once, because you need the achievements. You got to get that 100% in there. Will they ever add another Delve achievement? They might. However, I think it might be something like a Doom rarity troop, or, you know, a red border troop. They made mention in the past that near the end of maxing out every single delve, they would add something really special that'd be like a troop or something. Or some kind of really special pet as like a completionist token or something. It might actually be meta as a troop. It might be just a cosmetic pet. It might be nothing. But there's a chance we might still be getting something. It was mentioned in the past. However, they mentioned a lot of things in the past that they've never acted on. But I kind of hope they do. Because regardless of what it was, it'd be a good way to show they have really high renown. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if it was actually a troop. Just because of how much effort it takes to actually get that high. However, it would be similar to Zugov in that regard, in that it would be really, really obscenely annoying to obtain. And might actually be really meta. Okay, let's go handout code. And then we'll go mess with a couple chests. Gotta go get our daily Anu Initias. Where is my thingy thing? Code. This should be the next valid code. Let me go use over here. Use over here. Use over there. There it is. Okay. And here you guys go. Use on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Oops. Let me go put it into the paste thingy thing. That would help. I claimed it, but forgot to get you guys the link. That would help. Here you guys go. Here's the redeem code to use on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Let's see. Have I ever thought about quitting Gems of War? No. There's a couple reasons why. Simpleman kind of mentions it. I make more than half my money specifically covering Gems of War right now. And for that reason, I kind of can't for financial reasons. But aside from that, it's kind of like a time investment thing. It's kind of become like a daily that I'm used to doing. And while some things that the game is doing direction-wise, I'm not really caring for that much, the overall game still has its funness to it. And as a nice little short daily to kind of just throw out every single day, it's I'm still enjoying it. I'm still getting a lot of fun out of the game. I just hate the overall direction that the game is moving. But I still have my daily fun with it. And for that, I still like it. But yes, there are monetary reasons as to why I would never quit this game. I kind of can't. Let's see. What are we doing? Let's go do, let's go and do the chest thingies. We'll grab, what do we need here? We'll get Mist of Scales. I'll start running through here. Obviously, we'll do a Zugov. That's actually a Scorpius. That's not Zugov. It is called an Explore 12 team. However, it's not the Explore 12 team. Or at least not the one I want to use right now. Yeah, I still have a lot of fun out of Gems of War. Like, they've yet to suck out the fun. They're sure almost attempting to, but they haven't yet. We'll throw that down. And gameplay's still the same. It's just a lot of the stuff centered around the gameplay, like progression-wise, is starting to change drastically over time. But there are some good updates that could potentially help things out as well. Like, there's a lot of potential for them to do good during an arena and treasure hunt rework. It's something that's been requested for a very, 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 very exceedingly long time by people. And if they actually do that correctly, which obviously there's skepticism towards that, but if they actually do it correctly, that can go over very well. It might actually be the best update we get all year. The arena treasure hunt rework, if that's still in the works, because they're likely to still happen during the exact same update as well. They're likely to be the third to last, second to last, or last update of the year. If I had to guess, probably third to last or second to last. For context, the time that we got the infinitely farmable thing last year was October, which was the third to last update, and that ended up bringing in the what's it called system, the not the artifact, the trade stones, the tokens. I mean, not the trade stones, but the tokens and medals. That whole system was added in October as the third to last patch. So there's potential that the arena treasure hunt update is that same month. No confirmation on that, but it would be cool if it was, because that was the same year last year, or same time last year, that we got basically the infinitely grindable thing. And obviously arena and treasure hunts is infinitely grindable. And after it gets reworked, I would assume it would be still too. I'll grab that for now. How can you farm glory quickly? The quickest way to get glory, very quick, is Vault events. Vault event is this weekend, so you're kind of in luck. But the best way to farm glory is just play a ton during a Vault event and spam either 1 trophy PvP or spam Explorer 2 or 3 and just quick kill that. Explorer 2 and 3 is quicker. So some people like the higher class XP from doing the PvP thing, as well as the pet gnomes, if they want to get pet gnomes for their guilds. Which obviously someone should be doing to keep activating it every single hour. But that's the best way to get glory. The second best is whenever there's a +5 glory troop, spamming 1 trophy PvP in casual is the best way to go. However, that's quite a bit slower than doing gnomes. And most people just opt for waiting for gnomes. Because if you just invest all that time that you would have grinded at all the other times during a Vault event, you can farm more during a Vault event than you pretty much can throughout the entirety of not a Vault event. Just because the rate of glory that you get during a Vault event is so absurdly higher than any other point in the game. So most people just get all the glory they ever need during Vault events. Just because it's substantially higher than any other point you would ever get it. Vault events glory rate can run anywhere from like 2,000 to 4,000 glory per hour. Whereas the glory rate with a +5 glory troop doing PvP is closer to only about 1,000 per hour. And that's like the best method that isn't Vault related or Vault event related. So you get such a substantial increase to overall glory rate during gnomes. How's that not dead? Oh, we got a skull already. It's dead. There we go. How or where do you collect the code? You go to gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section, or simply click the link that I post next to every code. Your invite code is then found underneath your settings menu, and you put that into the invite code section, and redeem code is whatever we always post into chat. But your invite code's right there, redeem code's over in chat. And you just use it on that website. You either click the link, open a new tab, or just go to gemsofwar.com and go to code section. And I give the same loot as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Not much, but most people do it for the gem key. Also, who knows, we might start needing some maps as of next patch. Or, as of next week. I keep saying that as if we're not in 5.0. But technically, until Monday, we're technically not in 5.0. 5.0, while we're technically, theoretically in 5.0 now, we're not actually in 5.0 until 4 days, 5 hours, and 59 minutes from now. Then we're in 5.0, even though we're technically in it now. But the actual noticeable changes of 5.0 will be applicable at that time. Okay, Golvania. Let's go get another chest or 2. Probably do this one and one more. Want to get our annual Nisha. Also, the code might be used up by now. It has a limited number of claims. I think normally around 300. Not sure how many she made them for this batch. I didn't bother asking. I was just glad we finally got codes. But normally they're around 300 claims or so. 300, 400. Somewhere around there. Oh, what did Robert say? I answered the question. What else did Robert say? Campaign Mythic will be in Soulforge 3 weeks after the event ends. Oh, okay, so it is from the point on which the event ends. Okay. So that basically means 4 weeks then. Well, does that mean 3 weeks or 4 weeks then? Because event ends could mean two things. It could be either the exact moment when it ends, or it could be after the whole week when it ends, when the next one starts. Assumably, that means it would be the second week of the next thing. If that's the case. Because that would be exactly 3 weeks after it ends. If it's counting the exact moment where it ended. But I'm not sure if they're counting the full rollover as the ends, or if it's just ending as the end. But assuming it just ending as the end, it would be the second week of the following event would be when it would be available. Hey, the codes only work on the PC mobile account. They don't work on consoles. You believe they should add in the Soulforge? They need to do a lot of things in Soulforge. A dismantle option to obtain minor trade stones and runic trade stones. Like in Warren, you get the arcane light trade stone. You have like 800 of them. Yeah, they did say that they actually they said in the Q&A before when this was asked, or similar was asked. I'm not sure if exactly that was mentioned, but they were asked, will bigger resources ever be, basically along the lines, will bigger resources ever be able to be downgraded into lower resources? And they said aside from the current trade stone usage that does it ever so slightly, there actually will never be a way. This was added, I believe, mostly in the context of ingots, because obviously Mythic and Legendary ingots were so more populated than epics at one point, to the point where epics were near impossible. Now they added a lot more epics into the game to kind of balance that out. However, that was what the question was added in the context of, and they said that they would never actually allow the downgrading of them. So that's likely to be the case with trade stones and deeds and other various resources, where you wouldn't be able to go and downgrade the resource. You might be able to upgrade them in the Soulforge, but you would never be able to downgrade them. Or at least in the case of trade stones, without us quite a bit of a cost. Though not all of them can downgrade. Like arcanes can't downgrade into anything. I think the only one that can is majors. Major trade stones can downgrade. I believe that's the only one. It's mostly because they added way too many majors to the game and they were like, yeah, we're never going to add a sync to this. Let's just go and make them downgradable. The almighty Zugoff. Completely missing. Waffing the attack. There we go. Maybe we'll have a weekend appearance, so never. That's not the case. But yeah, Tower of Doom will start happening on weekends now too, to kind of obfuscate the time. Otherwise, it would have an 11-week gap. But now it's only going to have like a 5-week gap, because right in the middle, they're likely to do a Tower of Doom event, just so we're not getting a lot less of it. It'll still technically be a slightly slower rate of Tower of Doom. However, it's not going to be a drastically slower rate. It's only going to be affected by... it's basically going to be 1 week later every single time. And also, it's going to alternate between being a weekend event and a not weekend event. Which will actually be the only event that will interact that way. I don't think any other event will interact that way. Where you have both a weekend, where event is both a weekend event and a week-long event. No other event would actually be set up in that same way. Let's go get one more chest. I was going to make that the last chest, but we keep getting horrible drops. There we go, 18 gems. Nice little tribute. That's just a pretty big tribute. Our tribute's always pretty decent these days. Let's go kill out Urskea. Hey, we could go run the that one team. I'm not going to, though. We could run Scorpius here. Which one's currently easiest to do 12 on? Urskea, if you're running the Scorpius team. Place we're in right now. However, it gets hard countered soon. We're getting a Mythic here that's going to be making it not as viable soon. As soon as the next Mythic comes out. Not the monthly Mythic, but the Mythic related to the pass. Is going to make this place quite a bit harder. Because it's from Urskea. And it has Impervious. It kind of depends on your team as to which one is overall weakest. Because different teams function differently, depending on what you're up against. Like, theoretically, for Rowan teams, if you're not using, like, a Green Storm on your hero, Zacian is actually the weakest place. Not because it's actually the weakest, but because Green Storm assists you greatly if you're not already using it for your hero. I used it a lot. If you ever wondered why I was in Zacian a lot while we were upgrading hero classes, it's because most hero classes don't have a Green Storm attached to them. And we were able to utilize the Green Storm that applies at the start of battle off of that one gnome. I mean, not off the gnome, but whatever that green thumb guy is called. That one goblin. That's why we were mostly in Zacian. Because Zacian doesn't have any particularly annoying mechanics, like the traditional annoying ones. It technically has infinite loop, but it almost never gets it in the context of Explore. But, it was mostly done for the Green Storm. So there are instances where you'd go to a completely different kingdom for a specific team. That was one of them. I was gonna say, how are we not full mana? There we go. And it should be match. There we go. Now here's your opinion. People will buy the pass to get Mythic, and people will quit. Des will hear from above that the success next campaign will not have Mythic, and will get no success in passes. Well, they already mentioned that there is a good chance that next campaign will not have a Mythic, so we almost already know that. They said it won't always be a Mythic, which means next pass probably won't be a Mythic. What it will be instead, who knows? But, it's not always going to be a Mythic. It could be some kind of really good weapon, or it could be who knows what, but it's not always going to be a Mythic. That's already confirmed. If you had every kingdom at 19 stars, there's a 40% tribute chance, which would be 13 gems on average. It is way higher. I don't know. Did you do the math right on that? Let's see. It would be somewhat around there. Yeah, it would be somewhere around there. I forget exactly. I don't think it comes out to exactly that percent, though. But it is around there. But yeah, it does seem like it gives slightly more than that. I have noticed that. Like, my average tribute is probably like 15. I would say currently. I think it might be due to the statue and guild. Statue and guild might be messing it up some. The one that partially increases it. Numerically, the value shows correctly. However, coding-wise, it might be messing up to give more bonus than it actually should be. But the number that displays in game is correct based on it. But in practice, it might not be functioning correctly. Because there's a guardian in your guild that gives like a small percent thing to your tribute. And it gets calculated into that percent number. And while that percent number shows us the correct number, it might be overcompensating it as far as when it's in the code. Why did I do that instead of first slot? There we go. It was a good die anyways. There we go. What's in our final chest of the day? Nothing good. Well, at least we got Arachnia, but no Anus. No Anus, no Nishas. Oh, he's got a Beatrix. Wait, you can get... Oh, yeah, you can get faction legends. I almost forgot. Don't give me a Beatrix. Which is almost nothing we would need from this drop. But still, don't give us a Beatrix. There we go. At least everyone in my guild now has Beatrix if they didn't already. I'm pretty sure they all already had her. She's pretty meta, particularly Guild Wars. And if they don't, then go use that for Guild Wars. It's super great. It's the best cleanser in game. Or one of the best. It's situationally not always used, though. If you're doing your daily delves... Also, if anyone has any last-minute questions, now would be a good time to ask. We'll be wrapping up now. I'm just answering all the last questions. If you're doing... Oh, and if I missed anything, make sure to repost it as well. If you're doing your daily delves... at level 20, how to level up the rest of your delves if you're restricted to 3 runs a day? You would do it like you normally would. You would do 3 delves. It would keep going up slowly. And then over time, you'd eventually have them all upgraded. I'm not sure I understand your question. Every kingdom except that one that you camp at will get upgraded slowly over time. And if you wanted to speed them up, you'd have to spend a bunch of gems on a Tuesday event on one that you have not maxed out. So you want to focus one delve at a time for that reason. But I'm not fully understanding your question, because holding a level 20 and not holding a level 20 would have no difference on how you would incrementally get delves completed over time. The only difference is you would specifically keep one delve at 20 forever, and that's the only difference. You were checking the last faction video, and you spent 2,510 gems to get the level 500. Does this number require full clears on every room? If you're doing on a Tuesday, I believe you could do it for as low as 2,110 or 2,310 if you do every single room to full completion. 2,510, I believe you only have to do up to about the first 150 to 200, and then from there you can start doing skip method to get it done within that range. Would cost you about 2,510. To make it cost about 2,110 or 2,310, you'd have to do every single one of them. And if you do every single one of them, I think you can get away with 2,110. And if you skip every single one, it costs closer to 2,910 as far as how many gems. But it really comes down to how many full completions you do. And 2,510 is basically a mid-range amount of completions. Normally that's completing to about level floor 200 or so, and then going through all of them. Though it can vary between the delves, because it depends how many incremental rooms it has in between. Like if it only has 3 incremental rooms, you might want to go to like 250 or so, or even 300. If it has like 4 or 5, then going to 200 or even slightly shorter than that would probably be fine. Especially if you had like 5 rooms, you could get away with almost like a 150. But yes, the 2,510 gem method does normally require approximately a 200 delve completion, and then you start skipping them. You'd have to spend slightly more gems if you wanted to skip all of them. Can you click your link? What was your link? I didn't see the link. Let's see. There's the link. You have a screenshot. What's a screenshot of? I'll click your link. Tome of Karkaroth. Yes, they come in offers. Oh, never mind. That's the $10 one. You were showing what the $10 Kingdom one looks like. So it's 36 epic ingots. It's 5,000 souls. It's 200 gems, and it's 20,000 gold. I thought it came with 75 diamonds too. Someone mentioned. Apparently not. But and it comes with the weapon. So yeah, overall, not really that worth it. However, what's the gem value of $1 again? Isn't the gem value of $1.10? Because that's actually slightly above, if so. What was it again? I think these were exactly at it, right? No, it was 50. Oh no, that's really low then. But yeah, isn't $1 50 gems in economy? Yes, it is. So that's really bad offer. Even at $5, I don't think that would be worth it. But yeah, normally $1 equals 50 gems, as you can tell by all these flash offers that you're going to be seeing during the summer sale thingy. It's normally either like 40, 50 gems or like 45, 50, somewhere around there. Normally the bigger flash offers have it more towards 50. The more common ones are like towards like 40, 45. But yeah, those weapon packs have a value of only 20 gems per dollar, which is like half as many, like less than half as many. And doesn't even have anything else that's particularly good. So yeah, they're pretty bad value. And even at 5, I wouldn't really consider them. But yeah, they're pretty bad value. Because they're less than the normal rate. Because the normal conversion rate for dollar to gem is, if you're you should pretty much almost always be doing it for $1 equals 50 gems, and then whatever additional loot that you like on top of it you go for. Like the current one today is probably worth skipping, but anytime you see a $1 to 50 gem ratio, tends to be the only good gem exchange, or money to gem exchange kind of ones. It's actually better rate than if you were to actually do it into buying a bulk of gems, unless you have spent a lot of money already on the game. But if I was to buy $100 worth of gems with the first purchase bonus, which gives us even more, on top of our current VIP bonus, it's only 3,450. This breakdown makes it so it's not even 40 or 50 gems per dollar. It's only at 34.5 gems per dollar. And that's with the one-time only first purchase bonus thing that we haven't even used yet. I have bought in gems before, it's just they added that after the fact. Like years after the fact, so it doesn't count and it got re-added. But, so it looks like we haven't spent gems. But we actually have bought in gems all the way at the beginning of the game. But anyways, long story short, yeah, that's... The value of these are so horrible compared to flash offers. This is the bottom line. Anyways, any other questions? Let me go read back through chat. Let's see. Yes, you can theoretically max out factions without potions. However, it is exceedingly annoying to do. Yes, our hourly income of 1,351 should be the highest possible income, because we have max delves, which gives you slight income, and we have all kingdoms max, which gives you some income. So yes, I believe it is not possible to have an income of per hour higher than 1,351, unless I forgot to upgrade a kingdom somewhere that has a gold bonus as its next upgrade. I don't believe I've forgotten to do any, which is a possibility I have, but I am pretty sure I am as max on income per hour that you could possibly have. Obviously, income per hour, pretty much after the first couple months of the game, has been almost completely useless. It's a pretty dated aspect that's still in the game that for whatever reason they keep adding more to kind of make it relevant. But yeah, that gives a pretty minuscule amount of gold. I get only like, what does that come out to? Like 30,000 gold per day, or somewhere around there? Let's see, what is that number times, let's get the exact number, might as well. What's that number times 24? That's how much gold we're getting per day off of that. It's obviously a really minuscule amount. You could farm that within like 10 minutes if you were trying to. Probably even less than that. Less time than that you can get it in. You times that by 24. See, I'm getting 32,424 gold per day by doing nothing. And that stacks pretty much indefinitely, I believe. So you could not play for like a week or so and still have all that gold stack up. It used to be stealable too. It's not anymore. Only like the first year or two was it stealable. Actually, it wasn't even the first year or two. It was kind of added like after a year or so, and then it was removed for many reasons. How many level 20 pets do I own? Oh gosh, I don't even know that number. We can go check real quick though. We'd have to go to pets, and then we go to current rarity. Where's rarity? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 64, 63. I have 63 level 20 pets. So the answer is 63. Yep, 63. 63 max pets is what we're currently standing at. And that's out of a total of, How many pets are there? Out of 117, we have 63. So we have a little bit more than half completion on all level 20 pets. However, all the newer ones can be really annoying to try to get up. How do you obtain the troop Sacred Treasure and Genie's Lamp? They are obtained from opening portals and Underworld. Doesn't matter where. You would normally want to do it in locations where you need troops. A couple good locations are Sunken Fleet for Mirage Queen, or Amethyrax for Truffle, or where's that one? B1. The Deep Hive for the bee that we literally just got off a legendary task. But you open Chaos Shards here, and you get a bunch of troops, but the other loot is also the treasure. And you end up accumulating all the treasure based on these drop rates. 55% chance you get a treasure. Genie Lamp is the legendary one, which is at a 2.95%, 7% chance, which is basically 3%. And Sacred Treasure is at a 1% chance. It's the mythic one here. So that's where you get it. It's basically 3% and 1% chance off of treasure, or off of opening portals. And you can open them 10 at a time, and they're 20 for each opening. But that's where you end up getting them, if you still need them for troop copies. Though they're also used to upgrade horde levels, so you can actually completely delete them, and then just get them back later. They're completely pointless troops, though. Any other questions? Are you doing a separate 5.0 video where you go over the patch? Probably early next week. There's not much to really go over now, since campaigns haven't started. But yeah, Supplement. I might actually go and save that image then, because it actually would be good to mention for the thing. But yeah, any other questions, anyone? What's he going to say? Look, Zugoff has a red border. See you next time. I know, pretty much. There's very little to currently mention until next week rolls around, which is why I haven't covered a video on it. We just covered it during the stream, and that's it. But going into next week, we'll have a lot of stuff to kind of cover. Because we'll go over like the whole format of how they work, as well as the 16 tasks, which we'll do on Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday night stream will be us actually doing the tasks for the first time, whatever 16 we end up getting. And there's a lot to cover initially, but the campaign needs to actually start. Otherwise, there's almost nothing that currently happened in this patch that we can really make much mention of. What was the big deal about 5.0 since everything seems the same? Exactly. It's mostly just campaigns. And since campaigns haven't started yet, there's almost no difference currently between now and 5.0. Theoretically, 5.0 doesn't start until 4 days, 5 hours, and 36 minutes, even though we're theoretically in 5.0. But that's basically the 5.0 timer at this point, to be honest. Because until campaigns are actually a thing, 5.0 technically hasn't actually started, even though we are technically in a version 5.0 build, as you can see right there. Anyways, any other questions? Otherwise, we'll be calling it a night. We'll be back an hour and a half prior to now tomorrow, as we are every single night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. Tomorrow we have the class event for Bard Hero class. It's one of those hero classes that seemed like it'd be decent, but actually overall has become increasingly worse over time. And overall it's kind of average, but it's still a class nonetheless. It's mostly a yellow guild bar class. It's used in some wild folk team. You'd kind of assume with how good Wild Queen is that you'd use it a bit more, but King Salinas kind of makes it bad, because King Salinas isn't really that good of a synergy option, and you normally would have to use it with the two of them and almost waste an entire troop slot just to 50%. It's the same problem that some other typings have, where the 50% mana start troop is so bad that they can't really use it. For example, Urskea. The Urska 50% mana start is such a bad troop that you almost never use 50% mana start for Urskas, because the troop that has the 50% is so bad. It's one of the reasons why Divine Ishbala kind of got nerfed, because she was already such an insanely good troop while having the mana start on top of her. And there's a few other instances of it. It's one of the reasons why Mirage Queen is also so broken right now. Other than the fact that they keep adding insanely good elementals to the game as mythics, it also has the fact that it has a really good ability and pretty good traits overall. Like, even if it didn't have 50% mana start, it would still be a good option for Curse and some Skull Spam. But given that 50%, it just stacks to be so good, because it's already a good troop on combination of having the 50% mana start. It's one of the reasons why it's so popular. And just the troop synergy that you end up having with it overall. Saving shards for the new delve. Yep, good idea. I always save my shards. I think we're currently sitting at over 20,000. Even though we don't farm it on a daily basis, they do add up over time. And as you can see, we are at 20,000 plus. Any other questions, anyone? Otherwise, thanks for stopping by. Stay safe out there. And I will catch you guys very, very soon tomorrow. And this Friday, we'll have the start of the Vault event. So good time to go and farm that up. And on Monday, we have 5.0s actually starting the patch, which will be bringing in the new campaign system. And then we'll go from there. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful week. We'll catch you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. And good night, everyone. Stay safe out there.